Just want to do a quick shout out before the podcast start. Shout out to Aussie Open. They just won the IWGP Tag Team Champions.
Aussie.
Fuck yes. Hello and welcome to Coffee and Wrestling, a wrestling podcast. My name is Mark. I'm here with my wonderful wife and co-host Jamie. We are an over-caffeinated, underpaid, and just over-enthusiastic couple about wrestling that just wants to talk about wrestling on an internet recording so you can listen to us about wrestling.
It's more fun when you listen, you know?
When I listen?
No, when they.
I think it's great when I listen. And I do listen to these. I swear to God, I have to listen to them. It's like this, the perfectionist in me. I've got to make sure I get all the pops and the clicks and make sure all the levels are good.
Yeah.
Was it last? I think it was couldn't have been last week. We're behind an episode. Newsflash, if you haven't noticed, we didn't get around to doing last week's episode. Jamie and I came down with the not so feel goods.
I blame WrestleMania.
We blame WrestleMania. The ending, Sunday night's WrestleMania just made us
it gave
physically
me
ill.
A stomach bug.
But we are here today, and we're not even talking about WWE.
Nah, let's just skip right over that.
We're gonna just completely jump over that trash pile of a promotion right now. I don't know what's going on. They announced the sale.
I will take 1 second to say congratulations to Rhea Ripley, Sami Zayn, and Kevin Owens.
Very much, yes.
Absolutely stole the show as far as Saturday and Sunday went.
Right.
Loved it.
And speaking of congratulations, when we're talking WrestleMania weekend, we decided to do this new thing. Whenever we do pay-per-views or big events or anything like that, we're going to start doing predictions. Well, we've been doing predictions. We always do predictions. It's kind of what really this podcast originally stemmed from.
Yes.
We were going to do just predictions and talk about it, and lo and behold, now we're doing a weekly podcast.
Right.
So I took our predictions that we made. We watched 4 pay-per-views over 4 days, I guess 3 over 4 days, with the Impact NJPW Multiverse United, your Supercard of Honor, and then both nights of WrestleMania. I wrote down and we tweeted out our own predictions for the entire match. And
yes, and if you don't follow us on Twitter, at CAW Wrestling Pod is where it's at, and we posted all of that information as well as the ups and downs of the weekend.
Right. But with 20 out of, 20 out of 43, I think it was, matches for the weekend, and is what I had. And you were able to squeak by because you had a perfect night one. You predicted every match
Saturday.
Night one.
WrestleMania.
It was a flawless, a royal flush, whatever you want to call it.
Thank you.
And you are now, with 23 correct guesses on, or correct predictions, you are the Coffee and Wrestling Predictions Champion.
Thank you. Thank you.
I am currently working with a distributor on getting a Coffee and Wrestling Championship mug. That will be a large enough mug so that you don't have to get up for coffee more than you need to.
Okay.
And whoever ends up winning that CAW Predictions Championship will, between the two of us, will be able to use that coffee cup for the future until the next.
I love it.
So if you want to get in on it, make sure whenever you do your predictions, hashtag CAW Predictions, and we're going to put them all together and kind of keep track of everybody. And who knows, maybe if there's enough of us and we get a big enough pool going, we'll start making some prizes. So whoever ends up winning, I don't know, on a quarterly basis or something, get something neat in the mail, some stickers, maybe a coffee mug.
Yeah.
A t-shirt when we end up getting
some stuff that Mark and I will be possibly personally making. So
yes, we already got a graphic put together for one.
I'm so excited to share that with everybody that we have not shown anybody except for Jade Koth.
Right. Which, by the way, Jade Koth did he hit us with the Instagram picture waiting on the new episode. So here we are. It'll be up.
I'm back. I'm feeling better.
Yeah, we are back.
Let's talk about some All Elite Wrestling, shall we?
So we had mentioned that WWE has been this week an absolute shit show. The Monday Night Raw was by far one of the worst Raws I have ever seen.
It was
in the 20 some odd years of watching WWE, and SmackDown was not too far behind it. It was better, 100% better.
But the Raw after WrestleMania had an hour of commercial-free entertainment with 3 minutes of wrestling.
Like, legitimately, like, not even, it was something around like 2 minutes, or maybe it was like 3 minutes and 40-something seconds worth of wrestling between two matches.
Correct.
It was terrible. It was absolutely awful. and I mean, I know the commercial, and the reason why we're talking about this will be obvious here in a second, but it just, terrible. Absolutely terrible. Again, one of the worst WrestleManias, or Raws after WrestleMania. Raws in general. It was awful. And it's got to speak volumes, because the first thing we see in AEW, Dynamite starts up. We're supposed to have Ricky Starkz taking on
Juice Robinson.
Robinson.
Which, we're like, where are we going with this?
Right. Everybody was kind of like, what the hell? Like, why is he here all of a sudden? And I'll bring that up here in a second. But as Ricky Starkz makes his way down to the ramp, or down the ramp, fucking lights go out. You're thinking House of Black, Undertaker, something crazy is going to happen. Fucking, of all people, Bullet Club theme starts playing, and Jay White just runs out and starts attacking Ricky Starkz.
And that seals the deal that Jay White is all elite.
Like, are you, what?
This is awesome, because, the rumor mills were just that he was going to WWE, and I was just like, okay.
Every outlet,
it is what it is.
Every inside source, every person that even thought of a rumor of WWE and NJPW was thinking that he was supposed to go. And I'm sure he was. And now I've got to wonder. You got to wonder. So this was set up, it was 2 weeks ago that Ricky Starkz and Juice Robinson were?
Something like that, yeah.
Even if it was a week ago. How long ago did Jay White decide to make that jump? Did
you would think pretty recently.
But is it within the past week? Because if not, then they
Probably.
just happen to be piggybacking off of the Juice Robinson storyline with Ricky Starkz.
Maybe in hopes that it would work out that way, and if it didn't, no big deal. They'll just keep it with Juice.
I mean, it seems like whatever. It worked. It
worked out. It worked out for us. That's for damn sure.
Definitely the debut of the week. There's always little things here and there.
And I know I'm really excited about it, but I know who is not excited about it is David Finlay.
Yeah. Not very happy.
Wrote a nasty little tweet to our boy Switchblade Jay White over here, and said that he doesn't give a damn whether you're wearing Bullet Club gear in New Japan, New Zealand, or AEW. If you didn't get my permission, you're just a cosplayer. I'm here to drag this club exactly where it needs to be. Expect more changes. I'm sorry.
And that's verbatim from his Twitter.
Bullet Club.
He tweeted that out at 9 o'clock this morning, or at least retweeted it at 9 o'clock this morning. So it looks like David Finlay. I mean, is he still in NJPW? Mm-hmm. He is? Well, I mean, we've got Forbidden Door coming up. We've got Forbidden Door coming up.
Yes.
And I mean, this could be a long 3-month storyline we're looking at if this is going to cross over.
As far as I know, David Finlay was put in charge of Bullet Club in NJPW after Jay White left.
That's right.
So it's just been one of those things that, I'm really hoping over the next few months we actually get to see that go down.
Actually, David Finlay and Jay White wrestled, and that was the loser leaves NJPW match.
Oh, okay. Then there you
go. Interesting. Now, I wonder what, obviously if they do this, this is all theoretical fantasy booking. If they do this Bullet Club, this giant Bullet Club, storyline between NJPW, AEW, any other independent wrestling group or non-independent GCW, whatever's out there that has Bullet Club people in it with shirts. So Impact. What does this mean for WWE? You still have the Good Brothers and AJ Styles rocking the Bullet Club.
I don't know where the hell they've been, but yeah.
Well, AJ Styles got that broken ankle, so I'm sure they're keeping him within. That was part of Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson was, if they're not being used, they don't want to be on TV for no reason. So I'm sure that's why we're not seeing a lot of them. But again, like I said, they're using the Bullet Club moniker colors.
Sure.
You got yelled at on Twitter the other day because you said something about AJ Styles looked like Goofy with the mask he came out with.
Oh, that was a few months ago, but that's
it was
fine.
A few months ago, but yeah.
I mean, you got Finn Balor over there too.
Yeah, but he's not really using the Bullet Club right now. He's referenced it. Yeah, Finn.
He did the Too Sweet to Triple H on the way down to the ring not too long ago.
Oh, did he? I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, he's with Judgment Day. He's not not sporting the colors right now.
Right.
Which even then, I'm pretty sure Finn has more stake in that faction than David Finlay does. I mean,
I mean, yeah, for sure. He's
Finn
like
Balor
one of
was
the creators.
original,
Yeah.
one of the creators. And plus, on top of this whole thing, we've just hit 10 years of Bullet Club that they've been a faction. So, this is going to be an interesting little storyline that Tony Khan's stirring up. Hopefully, it'll bleed into Forbidden Door in June?
Yep, I think it's like June 26th, maybe
Something like that. But yeah, really excited to see that.
Yeah, me too. We had a fantastic segment on AEW Dynamite this week with the AEW World Trios Championships on the line. House of Black took on Best Friends and Orange Cassidy this week.
So I thought Orange Cassidy was part of Best Friends.
He technically is, but I think it's one of those like Imperium with Gunther. Like he's a part of it, but it's like Imperium is like the other two, not him. One of those.
Okay.
So it's Best Friends. The original Best Friends is Trent and Chuck Taylor.
Well, I know that, but Orange Cassidy has been toting around with him. Wheeler Yuta was a part of the Best Friends for a little bit.
Yes, if you look on their Wikipedia, actually, Chris Statlander and Danhausen are official Best Friend members as well.
Where's Chris Statlander at? I mean, I know she's hurt. I'm like, I thought we would have heard something by now.
Well, maybe it's one of those things. They're just trying to make sure that she's good before they start up a storyline with her and get her back in the ring. But I cannot wait to see what happens.
Oh yeah, I've heard. Yeah, that's a whole nother podcast. But House of Black versus Best Friends. Of course, we here at Coffee and Wrestling are huge supporters of the House of Black. Love Brody King. Love Malachi Black. Love Batty Buddy. Julia Hart will talk about it as well later. Love the development of her character. So the whole House of Black thing. We're a little biased on that, of course. But we also love, Best Friends. You got to give the people what they want.
You got to give the people what they want, but we have to remember here that we were in Long Island for this particular Dynamite, which meant that we got to see Sue.
Yes, that's right. I forgot that that's why she was there.
Yeah, because she's from Long Island.
We had the rare, I guess AEW is not so rare in doing it lately, but the Champions came out first, which I think you have to do with House of Black because you have to have that spooky element, and with other people in the ring or outside the ring, it kind of takes away from it a little bit.
Sure.
But we had House of Black come out first, and then Sue drove up in the white minivan with Trent,
so good,
Orange Cassidy, and Chuck Taylor.
Dropped them off.
Classic. I mean, we haven't seen Sue since. Oh God, I can't even remember the last time we saw Sue.
What a supportive mom.
Oh yeah, great.
I think the first time was the street fight when she dropped them off.
Probably.
Yeah.
And then she picked them up, and they were all bloody. And but this match was. I mean, whether you love Orange Cassidy and the Best Friends and the goofiness they bring, or if you hate House of Black and the spoopy little shit that they do with their
there's a lot of gimmick here.
This match was great.
It was really good. I mean, House of Black are very hard-hitting guys, punches and kicks galore.
As Orange Cassidy learned very well.
Yes, he sure did. But Chuck and Trent especially were really able to show off how technically good that the two of them are. Mm-hmm. It wasn't a one-sided match, which I love.
No. All of these guys got a great opportunity to showcase how good they are.
They did.
At one point, Trent was pile driving everyone, went to hit Brody King.
Understandably couldn't.
And I don't remember what happened. He softened the man up with a couple of blows and then was able to pull a pile driver on, a 250, 260 pound man.
He got me to stand up from the couch. I was stoked.
It was insane.
It was awesome.
But yeah, all 6 of these guys, amazing athletes in their own regard. Malachi Black is a chiseled from stone karate, judo, martial artist. I don't know what he studies exactly. Phenomenal in the ring. Buddy Matthews? Mm-hmm. I think I got it wrong last week or the other week. I think I said Buddy Murphy. Just an absolute powerhouse. I mean, he just... I don't think there's an ounce of fat on that man. And then you've got Brody King.
He can lift anything and anybody.
Oh, yeah. And then you got, when you train with Rhea Ripley, I mean, what the fuck?
Yeah, right.
And then you got Brody King, who's just a monster of a human being. Mm-hmm. And then Best Friends are just technically so sound. And these two, this hard-hitting, powerful, group up against this kind of a smaller, high-flying showmanship kind of goofy wrestling. These two really melt together when you can do it well, and these guys did it well in this match. They did consistently do it well. I don't understand the hate that AEW gets some days for the quality of their wrestlers, because the other argument is that AEW is filled with nothing but former WWE employees. It's but if it was good enough for WWE, but it's not good on AEW. But
exactly. That's a whole different tangent, but
House of Black ends up retaining.
Thankfully so. I think they
Thankfully.
should have it for a while.
Yeah, I don't think the Best Friends and Orange Cassidy are right for the titles right now, for the trios title.
No, but if we're going to talk about titles, this actually stemmed a little bit further with Orange Cassidy and Buddy Matthews really going back and forth a lot. And now on Rampage, we are going to be getting, or is that next week?
Nope, Dynamite.
Dynamite next week, I'm sorry.
But they set this up on Rampage.
Gotcha.
Buddy Matthews ended up cutting a promo on Orange Cassidy after his match with...
Drilistico,
thank you. I was thinking Commander. I knew that wasn't right. But after his match, he ended up winning on Rampage. Buddy Matthews and the House of Black came up on the screen, and he ended up saying, you were so gracious or we were so gracious to give you a shot at our titles. You should give me a shot at yours. So that's going to be set up for Dynamite next week. That's going to be a great match.
Buddy two belts. Now, this week's Dynamite was absolutely fantastic, as it has been for weeks on end, but we were blessed this week with a very special day, and it was MJF Day. So MJF was given the key to the city by the governor of whatever town he is from.
And apparently nobody likes him because he was on Dynamite, and when he got up in front of the podium to like make a little announcement, it was like the entire state or the entire like county or whatever, all of Long Island was booing this man. Nobody liked this guy. So I don't know if he's like a sleazeball politician or what the deal is, but man, he would
play the part, right?
He got a response akin to what MJF, after saying some sleazy, nasty shit about somebody's dad being dead.
Oh, okay.
Like, it was bad.
Yeah. But he basically announced that it was MJF Day in the town that he was from, gave him the key to the city. And before any of that even happened, we got to see a show.
Yeah. And MJF has been known for his musical numbers. He's done a couple of them. One with Jericho.
Chris Jericho was great.
And he didn't disappoint here. And if you've never heard the song Pennies from Heaven, please, for the love of God, don't listen to it. It'll get stuck in your head. The first time I ever really listened to the words, and because I don't remember what I was, something on TikTok or Instagram, I'm sure. I must have sang that song for like 2 straight weeks. And Jamie has been humming this song for like
since
every
Wednesday?
minute since Wednesday.
He had a full on band, sang the Pennies from Heaven.
It was so good.
It was just
sang the whole song.
It was fantastic.
Got the crowd into it. He really did a great job. And if
I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, if you haven't seen it, you should go check it out. It was quite the feat. I'm sure AEW posted it on their YouTube.
Yeah. The whole time I couldn't help but laugh and say, I bet Roman Reigns can't pull that off.
Yeah, right.
Oh, that's a champion right there.
That is a champion's champion. But all of this, MJF Day and him getting the key and this musical number, it all had to do with the storyline that involves the 4 pillars of AEW. You got your MJF, you got your Jungle Boy Jack Perry, who ruined MJF Day for him because he was one of the guy with the symbol. And when MJF offered to do an encore, one of the musicians was completely off time, and MJF got mad at him. Turns out it was Jungle Boy Jack Perry, and they started beating the hell out of each other up at the top of the stage. Sammy Guevara comes out
because he has a match
next with Commander, and on his way down, they've separated Jungle Boy and MJF, and he looks down, the World Championship belt's on the ground. And he's got a nice little picture of himself holding that championship
MJF
belt
was
up.
Not happy about that.
Have you seen that photo? It's a really good shot. It's got to be one of those like bittersweet ones because he put it in his profile picture on his Twitter.
I saw that.
It's got to be bittersweet because you're not the champion, but you're like, damn, that is a fire photo.
It looks good.
It does look good. We'll go around Sammy. Honest to God, and this, we also have, Sammy, and then Darby Allin's involved in this too, and he had a match on Rampage as well against Big Bill, who ended up winning. And every time they have all these matches, they always have the other participants, the other 3, like watching
from the back in like such an odd spot.
Yeah, in catering on top of a Foot Locker while their back is turned to it.
Darby Allin was in the hallway last week.
They had Ty and Sammy. They were like all laid up on each other in like a lounge with the TV up on the wall. But I honest to God, if you put these 4 guys in a fatal 4-way and said, who do you think would look good with the belt? I could see you putting the belt on any any four of these
It's
guys.
possible.
Obviously, MJF just already has it.
It's possible.
But I could really see Sammy getting it for some heel heat. I could really see Darby getting it for some much needed face heat. And I could see Jack Perry doing the same thing.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't
And
be
I could
mad.
see the Triple B staying on MJF.
Yeah, in the same breath. I feel the same way. And I would be okay with any of these guys getting it. So whatever they're doing with this is going to be good.
Yeah, and it keeps you wanting to find out what is going to happen with this.
Right. I enjoy the little tidbits they're doing. They're not making one giant segment about all four guys and blowing their load in 10 minutes on Dynamite.
Right. It's just interesting. There's so many people involved in it at the same time, but they're barely tiptoeing with it, which is
and I wonder
nice.
I wonder what they're going to do with this. 'Cause
I have
obviously,
no idea.
The only two ways you can do it is either have a fatal four-way between all four of them,
right,
or eventually two of them get eliminated from the title picture, and then it's just down to MJF and the third person left over.
Or you do a TLC match and we see what happens.
What a ladder match with the belt up there? That's what I mean.
TLC.
That's what I mean. You could only do a fatal four-way or a one-on-one.
Right.
And I'm just
nobody's going to want to see a one-on-one at that point.
I think you could do it though. I think you could really hype up. I think you could hype up, have like a double eliminator tournament between the four of them.
Okay.
Or between the three of them, to where you have to win 2 wins.
Okay.
In order to, and you have to beat both of the other opponents before. You can go to fight MJF.
Okay.
And I think you could really hype up a couple of matches.
2 out of 3?
Yeah. You can get at least 3 matches, and then you got to get the rubber match. So you have Sammy versus Jungle Boy, Sammy versus Darby, and then Darby versus Jungle Boy. There's your 3 matches. Each one of them wins a match, and now you're like, well, fuck it, we're gonna do a triple threat. And whoever ends up winning the triple threat is the number 1 contender going into X pay-per-view.
Sure.
Double
or nothing.
Double or nothing. All in. I mean,
sure.
Anything could be possible.
Which was just recently announced on Dynamite as well.
Yeah, I'll let you take this one. My mouth is dry. I need some coffee.
I just have to say that, people give a lot of crap to Tony Khan and how he can't talk around people, and I have to admit that I can't either. And
I talk with a little black microphone.
Exactly. I can't talk in front of crowds. I'd be even 100 times worse than Tony Khan would be.
I
but
know, right?
He did a fantastic job with Nigel McGuinness, telling us that All In is going to be back this year
after 5 years.
Yeah, and that they are going to be holding it in the famous Wembley Stadium
that holds upwards of 90,000 people, and I think you were the one that told me it was
SummerSlam '92. They had 80,000.
WWE was able to fill that thing with 80,000. And I know the rumor mill was going around that when the pre-sale was announced,
it was the pre-sale. Yeah,
it's like a pre-order for the pre-sale.
Yeah,
because the tickets go on sale on May 5th, my birthday, and they said that just in pre-sales from day one, there looks to be, and of course this is all hearsay, nobody showed any documentation of it, that over 25,000 people have already bought pre-sale tickets.
Yep. So let's hope that's the case.
Which, if that's the case, you have already gone above and beyond doubling, and then some, your biggest pay-per-view.
Right.
That's insane.
It is.
In a different country.
Right.
Never before been in this promotion outside of, other than the continental United States.
Right. Yep.
That's insane. That 25,000 people, even if that's just who shows up.
Exactly.
That's right now, that is
one day.
insane. And we had what? There was it 60,000 or 80,000 at WrestleMania each day? Because I think
it was 61,000 total. Or no.
No, I think it was 161,000.
It was 161,000.
So that means it was
total.
80,000 people per day, give or take.
Yeah.
Do you think AEW can fill in 80,000 seats? And again,
maybe wishful thinking, but yeah, I really do. Like, wrestling is so over there, and to be able to get such a big pay-per-view like this one, this isn't just some random pay-per-view. This is All In, which is legendary. This is what created AEW.
Right.
So to have something like that in such a notorious stadium like Wembley Stadium, I really think that that's gonna happen. I do.
I mean, fans over there are always so huzzy for shit like this. I mean, when WWE announced
Simon
Clash
Miller
in
and
the
What
Castle,
Culture are gonna get in on it.
When Clash of the Castle was announced, the buzz behind it was massive, because they don't get AEW and WWE. They're both American companies, so they all operate here in the United States. So when they go out, when the WWE used to go, I mean, even you talk when they go into Saudi Arabia, I mean, it was like an instant sellout. It's the same thing when they go to Clash of the Castle. It's
right. It's so few and far between.
So I think it's 100% possible that they could sell out 80,000, even 90,000.
I hope they do.
I think they're going to do it? Deep down in my heart of heart, I don't think they're going to. I would be floored if 60,000 gets filled. And that's not me like talking shit. I just don't
that's
know.
Still a shitload of people.
Yeah, I just don't know if the fan base is going to be there. As in, there's not as large of a fan base in AEW as there is in WWE, and that's
I think it's a matter of just getting the right people in on it, because of course they're announcing the regulars in AEW that are from England. Kip Sabian and Saraya, and
but then you also got to throw your Kenny
people.
Omegas up there. You got to be throwing your
you got to throw
your
some
Young Bucks.
special people in there too that are from England, that are going to make people that don't even watch AEW go, holy shit, this person's going to be there. That's how you do get the extra people in there, is the special names that people are like, I can't believe that.
You have like an Impact or some NJPW wrestlers tag along. I mean, a lot of the NJP wrestlers that are from Europe over there, it'd be like right next door to a lot of them.
Exactly. So why not?
It's an exciting time for wrestling.
Yeah,
like,
it really is.
I mean, even the idea that WWE has been sold and is now going to be part of the same company as the UFC, even though I roll my eyes heavily at that, like, it's progress for wrestling. We're now going to the next stage of wrestling. It's the sports entertainment in WWE is going to be completely different because another company that has more experience to bring to the table, not specifically different or better, but more experience to the table, is now going to open things up. We've got AEW expanding their territory into international borders, which is huge. I don't remember
for any company, especially a company that's only been around for 3 years.
And I can't think of a single promotion that has made such a large move in that regard. It's big enough that AEW in 5 years has come up with as big as they have been, but now they're going overseas. They're going to an entirely different market that is going to be. It's huge. That's awesome, and all of this is wrestling. All of it's good for wrestling. Whether you agree with the sale of WWE, whether you agree that AEW is a number 2 in the wrestling market, whether you agree that independent wrestling is not dead in any way, shape, or form, and fuels exactly what we all watch in wrestling right now. Whatever it is, it's all wrestling. It's all good for it. It's great. I fucking love it. I'm so excited for that pay-per-view.
I know that he's not necessarily from England, but a great thing to make people want to watch that would be to do the rematch between Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay.
Yes. I'm not even going to say those words, because if I'm just not trying to jinx it, because I would love to see that.
Just throwing good vibes out into the world.
I hope so, but Will Ospreay has been hurt for a hot minute, and I don't know if he's coming back anytime soon.
Just wishing for the best, that's
hopefully. I mean, we got Forbidden Door coming up. I mean, but Aussie Open's always good. I love me some Aussie Open. Throw them on that pay-per-view. I'm down to watch Aussie Open.
Moving on to the tag team match that defined the week. The greatest entrance, maybe of the year.
And that's saying something for the team that you're talking about.
The Guns were taking on FTR for the AEW Tag Team Championship. And this was a very interesting stipulation, because if FTR lost this match, they had to leave AEW.
Yep, it was a belts versus AEW career match.
Correct. Now, to give you a little bit of context, not to go over everything, FTR and the Gun Club, I'll be nice, they have been feuding for a really long time. It stems back a while.
That's
but
peak bad.
The big thing that happened between them happened last at the last Briscoes match. Right.
The final match of the Briscoes. Well, no, I don't know if it was the final match, but it was probably the final match of the Briscoes' career.
So they've been feuding for a while, and this kind of all cultivated to it because FTR said, what do we have to do to be able to get a tag team match against you?
They kept saying
and
nothing.
Austin Gunn said, there is nothing. And he yelled.
Very adamant about that.
That you could do to be able to get this match. And Dak said, what if we put our careers on the line? And again,
all of a sudden,
add a little bit of storyline. A while ago, Dax had posted a picture and he was talking about some whiskey or something that he was drinking. Tequila, my bad.
We can tell who listens to the FTR podcast.
Yeah,
and who doesn't.
you got that right. And in the corner of the picture was a WWE contract. Now, whether this was, it was some type of paperwork with a WWE logo on it.
Let's you could see like what looked like the right-hand side of the WWE logo. You couldn't see all of it, so of course nobody can confirm 100%,
sure,
nor of what it was, but it was definitely, at this point, implied. It had to have been put there. Well, see, I don't know. It might have been something like they could have gotten something in the mail from WWE, as a teaser, like maybe you might want to come to
sure,
WWE.
Maybe they just printed out a piece of paper with the logo on it just to get people going.
And
I really don't know. I do know that Dax definitely was very vocal about how they really didn't get along too well with Vince.
Right.
Vince didn't really see the creative side of their tag team, and they didn't really want to go back to working with Vince. So I guess we were all hopeful that FTR was going to stay with AEW, but up into this match, honestly, we had no idea.
Well, and the way that they had talked about it was they never came outright and said, we're unhappy or we're happy or, we're satisfied with how our careers have been in AEW. They tiptoed around it every which way, and I think it was smart. I think whether it was FTR's doing or Matt Kuhn, who's the co-host of FTR, the podcast with FTR or whatever, whether it was just marketing or what it was, but they played this up perfect to where they didn't seem like they were super ecstatic about re-signing with AEW.
Right. Even when they came out in ROH and said, or they were celebrating with the Lucha Bros when they won the ROH Tag Team Championships.
They looked very morose.
They did. They didn't look very happy, so they were playing into it really hard.
Like they were happy for, the Lucha Brothers, but that was like, that's all they were there for.
Right.
So it was this... It was probably the one of the biggest topics the internet wrestling community has had on their tongues was where's FTR going to go?
And we knew their contracts ended in April, too.
Right. They had alluded that at the I think the end of March or the end of April is when their contracts were supposed to come up. And this was going to be kind of an indicator as to what they decided. So it was a huge match. Like for more than just the AEW championships. It was a tag team that a lot of people felt like didn't deserve the tag titles, which I vehemently disagree that the Guns did not deserve this tag title run. It's a shame that it got cut so short, but I think it goes to show that how much the Guns have an understanding of wrestling. They know that they're heels. They know that right now they could lose those belts to a team like FTR and create storyline for them and put them on TV for the next 6 months.
Oh yeah, they can still keep that rivalry going. That doesn't mean it's over.
And that's
if anything,
exactly
it could have just been the tip of the iceberg, and now this is really developing.
You've also now given the Guns some legitimacy as a tag team. They're no longer just Billy Gunn's kids. They are former AEW world champions, tag team champions. You know what I mean? Like that means something.
It does.
In a world of predetermined matches, that means something. Like it really fucking does. And I say that like in a joking manner. But I think that this shows that these two kids know and understand this business more than a lot of people think they do. And they play on that, stuck up, entitled...
Our daddy wasn't there for us. Very Dominic Mysterio kind of thing.
And they play into it very well because they fit that moniker so good. And this match was a great setup. And
they're great heels.
They're great. They're amazing heels. They're one of the best heel tag teams that AEW has right now. And they need stuff like this. But lo and behold, FTR ends up getting the win. I don't think they're going anywhere for a while.
No.
Which is great.
I'm
not gonna lie. The bitter wrestling fan in me, I was like half kind of hoping they would go to WWE so I could stamp my feet and say, well, fuck FTR. I don't know why, but I think that was like what they played on. But I'm super excited they're staying in AEW.
Same. Very deserving tag team to have the belts between them and the Lucha Bros. It's just some great tag teams that Tony Khan are giving some love to. It's well deserved. It feels good, in the tum-tum, all that good stuff.
Yeah, it's the good feels in the tum-tum.
Yeah. So that was a great way to end AEW Dynamite.
Yeah.
Finley is very happy that she's going to continue to be able to get Robux.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good thing. I think keeping FTR and AEW, whether this is the last stint that they do in wrestling or if this is just a catalyst for more stuff in wrestling for them, I think it was a great choice for them staying at AEW. I don't think they would have been nearly as appreciated in WWE,
no,
especially with the landscape of what the tag titles are right now. How the fuck are you going to be more over than Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn right now?
Oh, you just couldn't compete with them right now. Unfortunately, you just have to take the brunt of the beating. Why go over there and get beat down with those two who are just killing it?
Look at Cody.
And no, there's just no other tag team in WWE that has it like Sammy and Kevin, aside from the Usos. There's just nobody else. So
I mean, I think FTR could.
Good career move.
I think FTR could, but I think it would be so short-lived. It wouldn't.
I don't want to see FTR fight the Viking Raiders.
No. Even FTR versus Street Profits, I don't know if...
It would be good for the first 5 times, and then it would get old.
By the 20th 5 times, it gets kind of old.
God, we need to shake up SmackDown again,
Well, they do have the, real quick, and then we'll move on to our next segment, but WWE, Triple H did announce they are going to have the WWE draft.
Yeah, they got like a full-on church celebration out of me. I was clapping, I was jumping, I was like, about fucking time.
Yeah,
interesting, though, because he said anybody is eligible for the draft. So does that mean, KO is going to be on SmackDown and Sammy's going to be on Raw? Like,
I don't know how that works. I mean, because, that's the only thing you really got to worry about is the tag team champions, You
can't split them up. They just tried that with the New Day with 3 people, and that already was tough.
Well, that's a little bit different, though, because you got a tag team and an individual going their separate ways.
Even that was weird, though.
But it was weird, yeah. But to split up a tag team with the belts, I don't think you can.
I don't think you can do that.
And not only that, what are you going to do with them? They're on both brands.
Exactly. Plus, with like Charlotte and who was it before? Charlotte and...
It was Becky.
Becky.
That's when they had that terrible exchange.
That didn't work out well. So
that wasn't WWE's fault.
I understand,
that exchange
but I'm
didn't
just
go
saying
well. That was egos flying.
Maybe we shouldn't do that again. So
amazing
let's tiptoe and be careful with it, Trips. But
it's amazing how Charlotte Flair's attitude has changed since then, right?
Oh, well, I mean, she's on the beach right now. She doesn't give a shit what's going on.
But back then when she had to change belts with Becky, it was all snooty. But now that when she lost to Rhea Ripley, you could tell that she was on the side of the ring, like looking up at her, like smiling, like, damn, you got me on this
sounds
one.
Like she just doesn't like Becky.
Ooh, hot take. So to open up AEW Rampage, we had the second match between Hook and Ethan Page. The first one happened on Dynamite earlier the week, and
Matt Hardy had set this up.
Matt Hardy had not only set this up, but this was the match that Wednesday, Matt Hardy was the reason that Ethan Page lost. Ethan Page was going to use the FTW Championship to get like an illegal hit and get the win, but Matt Hardy wouldn't let him have it. And when they were arguing back and forth, Matt looked at the belt and clocked him in the head. Hook gets the pin. Not that he needed the help. Hook gets the pin, and Isaiah Cassidy and Matt Hardy pretty much were like giving Ethan Page the finger up the ramp, kind of indicating
super excited they won.
That Hook did something to release them from their contract, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Nobody has said anything in AEW about any type of contract tampering. But if I were to wager a guess, because Matt Hardy put the entire contract for the first match together, I would assume he put something in there that if Hook won, it released them from Ethan Page's care into Hook's care. But for some reason, we had a rematch on Rampage.
Yeah, and at first I didn't understand why we would even bother to do that, but then Taz specifically explained that there would be FTW rules, meaning falls count anywhere. That
Right.
made it a lot more interesting.
Well, I mean, I think you have to have the FTW rules for the FTW Championship, don't you? It's like the Hardcore Championship.
It makes a lot more sense.
You wouldn't have a ladder match for a Hardcore Championship.
Right.
You have a Hardcore match for a Hardcore Championship. Yeah. So, even though we weren't really too sure why, and I was looking at it like, I don't know if I want to watch this match again. We just watched it 2 days ago. This turned out to be a great match.
That one was really good. If you don't really know anything about Ethan Page, take a couple minutes, look at his run like through the indies and his time in Impact.
He was a tag team champion in Impact with Josh Alexander, which, by the way, real quick, I'm going to take a quick tangent. So sorry to hear that he ended up having to drop the title.
Did you see the video of him having to relinquish the title?
Tugging on my daddy heartstrings. Oh, my God.
As a parent, God, his son is so cute.
He is. Watch that clip, everybody. Go on and watch him. Watch that man get rid of his belt. It's a very heartwarming. I don't know if they intentionally did this, but if they did, that kid has a profession in wrestling coming up because wow, that kid timed that perfect. And
it was
just
great.
His wife did the perfect reaction to it. But yeah, I'll let you go ahead. Ethan Page.
He's just a really great wrestler. So to put him in here with Hook,
we hated
was
him
a
at first.
Egon was a really great way to show how good Hook is. So I was excited that Ethan Page gave him that opportunity to just put him over again, because these were the longest matches that Hook ever wrestled. And actually, to segue into it, of course, Hook does end up winning and keeping that FTW championship. But another match that happened this week with a champion who went for significantly longer than they normally do is Jade Cargill, when she went against 18-year-old Billie Starkz.
Barely 18-year-old Billie
Battle
Starkz.
of the Belts this week.
I'm gonna preface this. If you know me as an individual, you know I'm a punk rock kid at heart, and yada yada yada, and I can definitely tell that Billie Starkz gets inspiration from the punk rock world, because her entire gimmick, she comes out with this rabbit head that's kind of like dirty and like it looks mischievous, and she's always got like some power chord theme music. I'm in love with Billie Starkz as a wrestler.
She's great.
I think her entire character is great. I think the idea that she's still in high school, she actually wrestled Friday night and was like, I'm trying to win this championship so that I can bring it to school Monday morning.
Yeah, bring it to homeroom.
She hasn't even graduated high school yet.
No, she's got a 4.0 GPA, and she was on spring break.
And she's on AEW Rampage for a title match against somebody who's undefeated.
And she's been fighting in GCW, which is just absolutely insane. She got curb stomped to hell by Blake Christian.
Ooh, boy, he got some booze on that one. But my God, what a good curb stomp.
I loved it. What a great way to
I love Billie Starkz. This was a great match. And just like you said, this went a lot longer than we had expected it to. And it was...
Jade gave her a run for her money, man.
You mean Billie gave her...
I'm sorry, Billie really made Jade work hard.
Really. She rolled out of the Jaded, I think, three times.
If I'm not mistaken.
Doesn't matter. Either way, it was great. She looked, both of them look good. I've got to give Jade her ups. She has been looking so much better over the past year or so.
Training
she has gotten
Brian
great.
Has really paid off.
It shows that she has really been trying to become the best wrestler that she can be.
Wow, her mic skills have just
she is
grown.
She definitely excelled at her mic skills before her wrestling skills, but 100% that shit she talks is that shit. I love
it feels
that.
Legit.
It's got a very almost like a Steiner brother feel to it, in the regard of she doesn't let you interrupt
that's
her.
A rough.
Right now the Steiner name is a bad name.
We don't condone the Steiners.
I'm talking Big Papa Pump, not Rick Steiner.
Okay. Fuck Rick Steiner, by the way.
Just the potency of her words, of when she speaks, like she is the only one that's speaking. It doesn't matter if Mark Sterling is talking, if Renee Paquette is talking. She will, when she speaks, her entire fucking body is in that promo.
Right.
I love it.
She definitely gets that from Brian, for sure, because Brian is 100% that way. When he talks, everybody stops talking and listens to what he has to say, and she has built that character into that exact thing, but now you 100% believe it. And I think she got her 55th.
55. She's now 55-0 over Billie. She got the win over Billie Starkz, but that is not.
We knew she was going to get the win, of course, because she's setting up for Taya Valkyrie,
who did come out after she gets the win on Billie Starkz. Of course, Jay's celebrating in the ring, and Taya Valkyrie comes out. They go nose to nose. Mark Sterling,
very loud boots on. Wow.
Yes, her entire outfit is loud.
Yeah.
But she ends up almost putting Jade Cargill in the Road to Valhalla, which is the same move as the Jaded. But she was able to get out of it.
That's what Taya Valkyrie said in the interview with was it RJ City?
Yeah.
This move's been around for a while. You can't really tell me I can't do it. Which
is so like breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like the stunner. It's like the RKO. Like so many people use that move. It's just a move.
You can't say you can't do it.
The pedigree. How many people use the pedigree now?
Right.
Triple H had a monopoly on the pedigree for years, and now Cody Rhodes uses it. Seth Rollins uses it.
Yeah, the go to sleep.
The go to sleep is just... It's so diluted, it's unreal. Until you see Kenta do it, and it really feels like you just sent somebody's nose in the back of their head.
That's what it is, okay.
But yeah.
Oh no, our boy Danhausen does a good one.
What is it? What does he call it? The go to sleephausen?
Yeah.
I'm still upset we've only seen teeth once in AEW.
Same.
There needs to be more teeth. Danhausen, if you're listening, you need to listen to the band Teeth. I don't really listen to Teeth. I just think it'd be a good band name for you, or band for you to be into.
Just sell the whole gimmick, you know?
Right. Speaking on another up-and-coming, very young wrestling superstar, whatever you want to call him, Nick Wayne recently, as of yesterday, so Saturday, so when this comes out Monday morning, you'll hear it Monday, so 2 days ago, defeated Swerve Strickland in Defy Wrestling for the Defy World Heavyweight Championship.
Who's 17, by the way?
17 years old. His birthday is not until July 12th or July 11th. After the match, which first off, congratulations to Nick Wade. That is a huge thing for a 17-year-old kid.
He's also one of the GCW tag team champions as well.
Yes, so he has got gold galore. So he's rocking it like a motherfucker. But after the match with Swerve Strickland, Swerve got on the microphone and told Nick Wayne and the world that, and I don't know, we're not sure if it's for a rematch for the Defy World Heavyweight Championship.
So.
Somebody said it wasn't.
No.
Somebody said it was. But regardless, July 12th, the day after Nick Wayne turns 18, he is to make his debut on AEW Dynamite versus Swerve Strickland. And especially with the...
If you didn't see Nick Wayne's face after that match.
Yeah.
He straight beat up a child.
I know, right? Like, you really think about it, Swerve Strickland almost like beat the shit out of a minor.
Yeah.
But so Buddy Wayne, Nick Wayne's father, trained Darby Allin. So Darby Allin has got like personal stake in Nick Wayne's career. He's the one that went to the independent show and said, you know, we've been watching you, and you know, we're giving you a contract the day you turn 18. He's been a pivotal person in Nick Wayne's training and all that. And Swerve Strickland and Darby Allin have a coveted history between the two of them as well.
Yep, both being from Washington.
Both being in and out of the ring, just being, like you said, both from Seattle, both in the independent scene. So to see Swerve Strickland not only lose the belt to this up-and-coming wrestler who has just been the talk of GCW, and then he now is going to be his first opponent on AEW on his first contract with a wrestling company, which
Swerve's going to put him over so good.
It's going to be great. It's
is.
Really going to be great, and I
love
am
Swerve.
There's no match that we're going to talk about. There's no nothing. I just wanted to put coffee and wrestling fucking
stamp of approval on Nick Wayne and Billie Starkz.
Yeah, 100%. Young stars coming through, both one girl, one guy. Doesn't really even matter. I'm all for intergender wrestling. Just great wrestlers that perform. If you haven't seen either one of these two kids, go out and watch something of theirs.
Yeah, you're doing yourself
phenomenal.
a huge disservice by not doing so. The energy, like, you know, I hate to be 33 and say this, but the energy that these kids have, it's like, I don't even understand. My brain can't function that fast. It's, you know, you see Vikingo and these kids, and you're like, how do they go so quick? They're so energetic and charismatic out the ass.
And they're so dedicated to what they're doing.
They are. They love what they do. And it's so cool to see like the next generation of wrestlers stepping foot in, but them both being given the stipulation that you guys have to graduate high school. You got to be 18. You got to do all this stuff before we can offer you anything.
And this is I
love that.
I don't know what the age range of the people that listen to our podcast are, but if you're anything in the younger bracket and you're still in school or you're even in college, I'm currently in college myself. This is like, be that guy that when you're trying to do something, be the best you can fucking be at it.
Yeah,
I know that's
take care of your
hard.
responsibilities though, you know?
Yeah, you gotta. Like, it's just shut the fuck up and do it. I don't mean to be mean, but shut the fuck up and do your shit. Be the person you want to be. Be the fucking the professional wrestler, but make sure you take care of your shit. Make sure your hygiene's good. Make sure your grades are good. Make sure your family is, life is at least decent. Like, there's a rhyme and a reason.
Listen to your parents, man. Like, not to be the gimmicky 33-year-old mom.
We're on a tangent tonight.
Listen to your parents, man. But props to these kids, absolutely killing it.
And always do.
Think about 10 years from now what
Yeah.
these two are going to be doing in AEW. I'm sure they're going to be working for AEW. And to wrap up AEW, we had the ROH World Tag Team Championships on the line. The Lucha Bros were defending their titles against an interesting tag team of Powerhouse Hobbs and QT Marshall.
Yeah, QT Marshall's been Well, I mean, he helped Hobbs with his QTV.
Yep, he did.
To get the TNT Championship.
Yep.
He's been featured on AEW programming at least once a week with his QTV, like TMZ style show that they just try to poke fun at the fourth wall, and it hasn't landed with me yet.
Yeah.
But this was, I mean, Lucha Brothers, I gotta watch every Lucha Brothers. I mean, we watch every match, but this, I love me the Lucha Brothers.
They're so entertaining.
They're so good.
You just know you're going to get it good.
He's the only action figure that we own. Is Penta.
I never wanted to get into figures because I see how people get, and they get, it's like Funkos. Like, I never wanted to be that guy that got into it. Not because I don't like them, the complete opposite, because I love them.
Yeah,
so
100%.
I know, like, once I get one, I have to get all of them, but I had to be that guy because I don't remember what series we have of the Unrivaled figures, but it was just the most spot-on Penta. I had to get it.
It's the white and black one. I'm not sure what series that is, but it sucks because they have he's got a gold and black and a white and black, and then Ray, I believe, has the same schemes, but it's the opposite. So if it was the one we have is Series 1, we have the white one and Ray is gold, and then when you go to Series 2, Penta is gold and Ray is white. So I don't know. But yeah, there's so many figures. There's so many alternative attires. We'd be
Some
broke.
of those figures are spot on.
Oh my God! I'll tell you what though, they've got me though. They put advertisements out there for the new figures for AEW, the Unrivaled editions. They got a Brody King. They got a Malachi Black.
I know.
They got
Danhausen.
They've got. I mean, there's. I think
Chris Statlander.
They've got Statlander. They got Mox.
Like, damn, you're killing me.
Oh my God!
Britt Baker with the bloody nose.
So good. They've got exchangeable heads.
I know. You're killing me.
Yeah, I can't. I'm trying to not go bankrupt here, and they keep coming out with merch where I'm just like, but it's so shiny and new.
I know, their stuff is so good.
And I want to wear it so people go like, oh, you like them? Like, no, I just bought the shirt because I fucking wanted the shirt.
I've never just walked around my county and people been like, wow, you like AEW?
I know.
But back to Penta and Ray taking on QT and Hobbs. Again, interesting lineup. Very fun, though. I think a lot of people don't like the dynamic between Hobbs and QT.
I just don't think people like QT Marshall, which is a shame.
I love him, and I'm going to take 30 seconds to just tell you that I love QT, and I'm sorry that you don't get the love that you deserve. Your hair's looking great, too.
Yeah, those plugs are really going good. They pulled him off his ass and put him in his head, and they look great.
They look phenomenal, but he's just such a good wrestler.
We saw
and he's
them.
So good. Just hold on one more second.
No, you're good.
He's so good at putting over people. It's just absolutely unreal. We saw him at Revolution.
That's right. That's
Not
where it
this
was.
year, last year.
And when he was at Revolution, he had a hell of a bald spot. Because I'm pretty sure if you go back and watch...
Extremely loud.
If you go back and watch Revolution, 99% sure you can hear me screaming, God damn, that's a big bald spot. But
I think he got a black eye right after that, too.
I think that was the match. I don't remember what happened, but yeah, he caught somebody's either the elbow or their hand, and it was instant. It was instant. His eye it swelled up. Nice little mouse under the skin. But this is a good match. Lucha Brothers always delivering an exciting match with their flippy-floppy wrestling. But then you got Powerhouse Hobbs, who looks like he could pick the ring up and throw it halfway across the stadium. And then QT Marshall, who's just got just an array of moves that...
Just clean move after clean move.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why he trains people.
I don't know why people think he's no good. He is so well-rounded in ring.
I think he's such a good heel that people hate him. He's the equivalent to your Chris Jericho, where you go years and years and you're like, oh my God, every time he talks, I hate that guy. And you don't realize that means he's actually really good at what he does. That's QT. Everybody hates him, but I don't know how you can see him in the ring and go, that guy sucks. Yeah, I just don't understand it. He's so good. I mean, Diamond Dallas Page gave him his move.
I know, which is a lot.
That's insane.
The Diamond Cutter, which is, again, right back to what I said earlier, is nothing more than an RKO.
Well, yeah, exactly.
And the RKO is nothing more than a Diamond Cutter.
But, I mean, you got blessed by DDP.
Oh, of course.
Legend.
So good. But this match was a great match. Lucha Bros ended up retaining the ROH Tag Team Championship.
I'd say they'll have it for a while, but I don't know. ROH is where the tag teams are.
ROH is where the belts fly around. I feel like that they're going to have a lot of fun with ROH. We still got to watch the most recent episode. We didn't end up covering any of the Supercard of Honor or WrestleMania or any of that, but
Not that we didn't like it.
The entire Supercard of Honor was wall to wall great matches. There wasn't a dry match the entire night.
Vikingo versus Commander.
Oh my God!
Wow!
Do yourself a favor and go look it up. Yeah, wow!
Just
wow!
watch
Wow!
that, and that was the AAA match.
Yep.
That wasn't even an ROH.
That was the opener. That was the first match of the night.
Can we just give like 5 seconds to talk about the literal feeling of this is amazing, I love this pay-per-view, to Tony Khan ripped my heart out? You got a minute?
I got a minute.
Okay.
I got a minute.
So ROH, it felt like two belts so obviously were going to change hands at Supercard of Honor. And we got so many good vignettes and videos and flashbacks of Eddie Kingston versus Claudio Castagnoli that just felt like this was going to be Eddie's time to finally get this, because I think he had lost 2 times, if not 3 times in a row, against Claudio.
Yes.
So it felt like it was time, you know? And then you have Mark Briscoe, who just relinquished his tag team title, who said that this was his destiny, was to win the championship against Samoa Joe.
Said he was going to do this for Jay.
Yeah, this was
his name.
Destiny. This is what he was supposed to do, you know? Both of those guys lost.
Just pulling the Band-Aid right off the rip.
Wow.
Yeah, no, it was...
Wow.
It was
weird.
2 matches that I think both of us kind of sat there and scratched our heads over. Great matches. Like, both matches were... I mean, especially the Mark Briscoe Samoa Joe match, like, my God, back and forth between the two of them.
I loved it.
It was amazing. And if you've got
the relationship these two have had, obviously knowing each other for years.
Yeah, well, and to correct you earlier, it was 2 times. They've had 2 matches where Mark Briscoe has not been able to beat Samoa Joe, whereas Jay Briscoe has 1 win over Samoa Joe.
Oh, I was talking about Eddie Kingston and Claudio Castagnoli.
You were, weren't you? So I'm gonna pretend like we weren't. I'm gonna pretend like I didn't just screw that up. We're gonna keep going.
But it was a similar thing where it was like 2.
Yeah, it was a very similar story.
2 losses.
You know, with Mark Briscoe, there was the story of, you know, it was the new chapter in his wrestling career.
His singles career too.
His brother has passed on. His ride or die. He's been a 13-time. You know, ROH tag team champion. That's been his entire career. He's been a tag team champion and a tag team, you know, guy. I'm sure he's had singles, but has never been part of the world tag team or a world title match or the TV title, scene.
Never won a belt.
So it felt like it was the next step for Mark. It was the light at the end of the dark tunnel he's been in.
He relinquished 1 belt to get another. It made sense, you know?
Right. And then we have Eddie Kingston and Claudio. And the history spans over 15 years. It goes back to Chikara Pro.
Right.
Goes back
These
to
two
the Indies. Goes back to
roommates.
They lived with each other. They trained with each other. They went through hard times with each other. And this story has developed over 15 years. And full down the fourth wall, it's been, you know, these two are great friends outside of wrestling. So to see this story still be a thing, that they stay in character in front of the cameras for 15 years and in front of the fans for 15 years.
And every time they see each other in AEW, you know?
You saw a little bit of it, with the Blood and Guts match.
Right.
You know, you saw a little tidbit and they reference, they even alluded to that, not knowing what, you know, ROH was going to be back then. And it all accumulated to this, you know, where Eddie Kingston challenges Claudio for the world title, the coveted prize of Ring of Honor, and with, you know, Claudio turning heel with BCC. It just felt like, you know, we've talked about this. It just felt like what was right, what was best for business.
Sure.
And I guess it wasn't.
And Wheeler lost that day too, so it kind of made sense. Okay, the BCC is going to go
drop
strictly
the titles,
AEW.
Right. You know, which that match, oh my God. You haven't seen that match. I don't know what else to tell you. I feel like a broken record every time I say those things. But if you have not watched Wheeler Yuta and
Katsuyori
Shibata, thank you. You're doing yourself a disservice as a fan. But both these storylines felt right. Like, this is it. This is the coveted passing of the torch of ROH into the next, chapter of ROH.
And I feel like we all, as like a wrestling community, were looking forward to Mark Briscoe being on the top rope, holding that championship, and we were all going to cheer.
Being on the top of the mountain instead of falling down it for the past, he has been the past 3 months. Yeah,
his kids were there. His wife was there.
It was all set up.
It just felt right.
I mean, but at the same time, and it was disappointing. And at first, Jamie and I were very upset about both of these matches.
I was disappointed. You go through those different phases when you lose something, and that disappointment. It was
rough.
Yeah.
It was rough, but I feel like it sets up more. You got to look at it like they have a plan for this, and it's akin to WrestleMania Night 2.
Yeah, think about how much better it's going to be when Eddie Kingston does win against Claudio.
Right.
It's going to feel so good.
And when Mark Briscoe finally breaks through that mold and gets maybe that's it. Maybe Mark Briscoe's going to go for the world title next.
I'd love to see it,
I'd love to see a Mark Briscoe defend his ROH World Championship against Eddie Kingston. That'd be a fucking amazing match.
Absolutely. So, don't know what they have planned, but wow. I'm so happy with ROH. All right, and that is going to do it for this week in All Elite Wrestling. As far as next week, we have 4 matches for Dynamite announced. We have the Blackpool Combat Club members Jon Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli taking on Brandon Cutler and Michael Nakazawa.
That's going to be
best of luck to the two of them. It was good knowing them. Who will film Be the Elite? I don't know.
Well, there's no Elite right now because they're both hurt, and this is
there
why
you go. This is
they're
perfect.
out there. They're going to defend their friends. Kenny Omega's probably still at the hospital with Don Callis. By the way, speedy recovery to the dickhead's Don Callis.
I honestly was like, "Wow, he bladed! I can't believe he bladed!" But no, he got knocked out by.
There was a segment, right, and they were, attacked by the Blackpool Combat Club. The Elite was, or Kenny Omega. I don't even remember who it was. Hangman. But John Callis turns to Jon Moxley, and Jon Moxley, hits him, takes him down like Jon Moxley should do. And I guess Don Callis fell and hit his head on something. And
on the set.
Split his dome open. Spent the night in the hospital or a local medical facility. And I guess was like worse for wear for a little bit, and it was legit.
Yeah,
but when
he bounced back, he's. But Don
like
Callis,
you said,
man.
when we saw it, we're like, oh shit, Don Callis like really committing to the
blatant for the bit. Yeah,
but he was pouring blood. Poor Don Callis.
Also, we have Orange Cassidy defending his international. I said it right. His international championship against Buddy Matthews. Buddy, 2 belts, as we just said.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier. Very excited about that match. That is going to be a really good match between the two of them.
I'm looking forward to that. Also, Darby Allin and Swerve. Again, that is going to be happening. And Chris Jericho will be taking on Keith Lee, which has been a new development between the two of them.
Now,
old wise man Keith Lee.
Yeah, right. Turning into like a Mortal Kombat character with that gray hair and gray hair in his beard.
He looks like a wizard.
He does. He's got that big white robe. I swear to God, I don't know what cult he's about to start heading, but
I'm
sign
in.
me up. Sign me up. And
yeah, we're Dungeons and Dragons dorks, so we're in.
It's impervious that I become a part of your covenant. See,
yes.
it's already working. It'll make me sound smarter.
Exactly.
And then we have, like you said, Swerve and Darby Allin will be taking on each other. After Darby Allin's match on Rampage, he's walking up the ramp. Swerve comes out, and he's already said that he is basically joined forces with another group.
Yep, he owns 51% of another group, and
goes to shake
didn't want to tell us right away.
Yep, goes to shake the hand of Darby Allin. Darby's like, "What the fuck's your problem?" And then Brian Cage comes out and fucking lays out Darby Allin. So the Mogul Affiliates is now joining forces with
the Embassy.
The Embassy, which I did read something interesting today. The Embassy did retain their 6-man tag title match at Supercard of Honor, or their tag team titles. Brian Cage is still a free agent.
Oh, he still has not
re-signed,
okay.
And there has been a lot of interest from WWE. So I guess WWE
understandable
has been kind of fielding the feels out there for Brian Cage. I have a weird feeling we're going to see Brian Cage go to WWE.
You know, Brian, do what's best for you, dude. I will follow you no matter where you go.
I feel like Brian Cage is the man of the money, and I don't blame him.
No.
And I think Brian Cage is a specimen to be utilized by a wrestling company, and I don't know if he's being utilized or could be utilized the best in AEW. He is a big, meaty man. Could go toe-to-toe with anybody in NXT, even in WWE main roster. Got some things to work on before he gets on TV.
Sure.
More, but
not his physique, that's for damn sure.
Not his physique, for sure. Yeah, it's more of just mic
skills
great on the
and
camera skills.
Yeah.
Besides that, and I mean, he's got great camera skills. I just think in the WWE world, it's an entirely different monster.
Sure.
But yeah, I don't know. And
I'd love to see Brian Cage and Bobby Lashley.
Ooh.
That'd be great.
That's a lot of meat. But we both have Parker Boudreaux and Trench.
Yeah.
Apparently are both injured and out. So I wonder if this has something. I wonder if this has something to do with Swerve doing another set of affiliates.
1000%. Because that didn't go over well at all.
No.
So taking the Embassy, who are definitely over, definitely look great, and saying these are my dudes now, much smarter approach because they don't have to prove shit. The Embassy have already proven a lot. Those guys are huge, but they can also wrestle really well.
I just don't know what the purpose of teaming Swerve up with a 6-man championship team. Like, what do they gain from getting Swerve affiliated with them?
Maybe mic skills, because it's not like Prince Nana is going to go out there and say a bunch of stuff.
Which is surprising. What's he even
put
doing
over
there
a
at this
different
point?
team? I mean, he's an ROH staple, so I think that's why.
But you think
he's supposed to be Tully, but that's a whole different thing.
He's not useless on the mic, though. It's just
no.
I don't know what they're doing with this.
Perhaps to help them. I think it's mic skills to help the Embassy and meat to help Swerve.
Meat.
You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, he had meat, and now meat went spoiled, and they put him back in the freezer. And, of course, last but not least, we have The Miz will be taking on Matt Riddle on Monday Night Raw, as well as the women's tag team champions Becky Lynch and Lita will be taking on Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan.
Yeah, why not Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey?
Is
Shayna Baszler out?
We were in the understanding that Fatal 4-Way at WrestleMania was for the number one contenders match.
I knew it wasn't. I just thought that would be the right thing to do.
Nope. Apparently, Monday night's match between them and Shotzi and Natalya was the number one contenders match. Which
did they say that?
Yeah, that was it. Determined what match was going to be on Monday Night Raw.
Well, Shotzi and Natalya came out. I walked out to the kitchen, refilled my drink, and came back, and the match was over.
It was very, very short.
Okay.
Yep, it is exactly
cool.
Everything you're assuming is correct.
Okay, so we'll have that
tag. We'll have that tag match. Miz will taking on Riddle, and then we will see the return of Shinsuke Nakamura.
Oh, thank God!
Come down, SmackDown.
Please, whatever you do, Triple H, you're gonna make this, shake up and do things between different brands. Fine, but keep Shinsuke, for the love of God, on the same brand as Rick Boogs.
I don't think they're gonna. They've got him so entwined with Elias.
God,
it's a shame. But we will see Shinsuke Nakamura come back SmackDown, so that's a little bit of exciting news. Hopefully Raw won't be a complete 3-hour bore fest like it was last week. Because
we'll be watching on Twitter.
We won't be watching on Twitter. We'll be tweeting on Twitter.
We'll be tweeting on Twitter, but we'll be watching and on Twitter all throughout Monday Night Raw, so make sure you follow along with us.
And we also do that on every Raw, SmackDown, Dynamite, Rampage, Battle of the Belts, Ring of Honor recently, maybe Impact sometimes.
Pay-per-views, premium live events.
But we are always on Twitter during wrestling events at CAW Wrestling Pod, where we live tweet every event. We talk about it. We interact with you guys. If there's predictions during a pay-per-view, like I said earlier, use a hashtag CAW Predictions. Follow us, like I said, at CAW Wrestling Pod for more fun.
Yeah, and you can follow me personally at a bacon party if you want to see the ridiculous things that I tweet about.
And if you want to just subscribe to a Twitter profile that never really tweets unless it's something about how bad his stomach feels and how big he's going to go take a poop, you can follow me at Gunk Dudley. I'm not that interesting I'm very interesting on the Coffee and Wrestling Twitter.
Not the personal.
But I neglect my own personal one. I don't.
Okay, that's fair.
But you can follow me on there every once in a while. I post, Jamie posts, keep up with our lifestyles of being wrestling fans on a podcast.
Yeah. Also, please do us a favor if you could on Spotify and Apple Music. If you could give us a 5-star rating, maybe write something about what you like and tell a friend. We would really, really appreciate the love.
We've been getting a lot of love lately.
Best.
We're not a numbers podcast. We don't really give two shits on if 10 people or 1,000 people listen to our podcast. We're just so happy to do this and that the people are out there enjoying it. I know friends of ours, Jade Koth, he always gives us our support. The Wembley podcast, Wembley Mania, there we go. They always give us some love on social medias. We've got a couple other podcasts we interact with, so we really
Chef Eddie,
appreciate.
we love you.
We really appreciate all the love that we get on Twitter, on the podcast. If you listen, if you retweet, if you find us on Instagram,
Thank you,
whatever.
because we love
so
this,
much.
and we really hope you love this too. It means a lot.
But that's going to do it for our episode. Again, apologies for last week. We are back to our normal operating procedure. We're not going to miss a step from here on out. Every Monday we post, and we look forward to seeing you this Monday, I guess. Thank you for joining us, and we will catch you in the next episode.